Okay. So, hey, Dave, do you want to say a little bit about foundation because you're the foundation chair for the district?
Sure. One of the things that we want to accomplish is for us this year to be spending a little bit more time training your foundation chairs so that your foundation chairs really get to have a strong understanding of how the foundation works. Because we want those people to be the resource that your presidents and other people within the club can go to get those answers instead of having to come to us on all of that stuff. And then that way, you've got a resource that can also educate the new people that come into the club, and that foundation chair should be doing that. So we'll be doing more work with giving them the services and the resources to be able to provide that information to their own club, people within their club. So that would be your first point of attack when you're asking questions about the foundation, is to go to your foundation chair, and we'll give them the tools to be able to do their job much better than they have had in the past.
Hey, and every year we have an event where we can get together and celebrate the successes of the foundation giving. And this year, I'm going to start my PowerPoint, but Dave, do you want to talk about Vicky and what the purpose of these events are?
Sure. So Vicky Police is a trustee of the foundation, or she will be a trustee to the foundation starting next year. She's a dynamic speaker and a business owner, and I've got to hear her speak at one of the Zone Institutes and got to meet her, and I think she's going to do a wonderful job in providing us with some uh, incentives as well as knowledge about the Rotary Foundation. And I encourage everybody to go to the prospective islands to be able to see her speak and also possibly have a intimate conversation with her. Vicky is going to be here with her husband Tim, and they're going to be here through March 25th through the 29th. And you see there on the PowerPoint, Kona will be first, Hilo second, Kauai third, and then Maui, and then finishing up over at Oahu. So all of these are available for you folks to sign up for at your various islands. And I would encourage you to definitely get your foundation chairs over there so they can get that information. But other people that just want to celebrate what they've done for the Rotary Foundation, it would be a great opportunity.
And we're going to have these talk story smaller group meetings with Vicky so she can talk about legacy giving, foundation endowments. And so if you can identify people in your club that might be interested in donating on that level, please let us know so they can get invited to these smaller group talk story, fireside chat events. And if they want a one-on-one meeting with Vicky or any of the other foundation officers, please let us know that they'd like to do that, and we can get that arranged. But we need your eyes and ears in your club to identify people who would like this information, but also to promote these foundation celebration events and invite them to attend to network with everybody, but also to hear that story from Vicky on the big why we're giving to the foundation. So I'm going to go through a lot of slides here talking about the different levels of giving and the different things, the questions that came up at PETS. So sorry, it's a lot of information, but I really wanted to make sure we cover this for all of you to learn about the foundation. So, the foundation is our engine for Rotary to do good in the world. So this is the engine that funds our grants, our projects, and really can get down to the level where we're really helping people. And there are only three funds that we give to: is the Polio Plus Fund, the Annual Fund, and the Endowment Fund. But within each area, there might be the separate funds to give to. So when we talk about the SHARE program is the annual fund share. Hey, Dave, tell us about what the SHARE fund is.
Well, the share fund is when money is given over a 3-year period. That's what the Rotary works off, is the interest on that money, and then it comes back to your Rotary club or back to our district and our district disseminates that money back to each club based upon the percentage of money that they gave to Rotary International. So if you gave 10%, you're going to receive 10%. And that's how you get it back at the end of the 3-year period. So it's basically a 3-year period before the funds are returned to us. So it's the only place where we can give money to to create a cause, and then that money comes back to our Rotary clubs and to our district and to individual clubs so they can run their programs.
What? The money that people give to the foundation comes back to the club? Wow, where can you
Absolutely.
get that? Where you
No,
donate money and then you
nowhere
get it
else.
back? Yeah.
Nowhere else.
Okay, so that share is got to go to the annual fund share. And so that money that we donated 3 years ago comes back. Some of it goes to the rural fund, some of it goes to the district designated fund, DDF. Okay, so what does the DDF used for? Grants. Those are the grants that we do at the club level and global grants. So the money that we get, they take off 5% for the admin fee, and so 47.5% goes to World Fund, 47.5 goes to district designated funds. So the allocation for this year, and guess what? This year we're getting more for district grants than ever before. Yeah, because Rotary International, well, somebody put in this idea, hey, let's give more to the district grants instead of, making it 50-50. And so this year, the amount that we get for DDF, we're going to be able to use 60% for district grants and then 40% for global grants. Right, Dave? We did that calculation.
Correct. Correct. So
So
we are getting a lot more back than we had in previous years.
So this year, because we gave more 3 years ago, we're getting $140,000 for DDF. Okay, so that 140,000 gets split up like this. We take 3% for admin fee. That's to cover like some of the expenses for the district, like the payment for the CPA to do a tax return. But 81,000 going to district grants and 56 going to global grants. So there are some other changes that we have made that the spending committee made under Dave's group to help you get more for your district grants for your projects. So Dave, it was we cut the amount that they have to match, so they
That's
only need
correct.
to match
50%.
50% of the amount for district grants.
Right.
So it's more that you can use without matching. And then for global grants, you don't need to match that 100% for global grants. You only need to go at least 50%. We or 100% if you want to, but we don't have that 100% match club cash match anymore. So the spending committee really wanted to get more money to the level of the club so that you have more for your projects. And why not? It's your money that you put in. Your members put that money in. So when you get that money for the grants and when you do your grants, please remind them and thank them for putting in that money because maybe that'll help with getting more money. So let's talk about individual recognitions. That question came up about what kind of recognition and points that you would get for donating. So these are the levels for giving to the Rotary Foundation. The sustaining member is $100 or more each year to the annual fund. A Paul Harris Fellow is when you reach $1,000 in points or dollars, you become a Paul Harris Fellow, and that's money from the annual fund, Polio Plus, or disaster or global grants. Then, when you're a Paul Harris Society member, it's where you pledge to give $1,000 annually to the annual fund. Then you got major donors, 10,000 in personal contributions. Arch Comp is where we have 250,000 in personal contribution, not points. And then you have a beneficiary category where someone pledges to give $1,000 to the endowment later on. And then Bequest Society is a minimum of 10,000 to the TRF with the state plan. And then you have a Legacy Society, $1 million documented for a future gift to the endowment. So these are the categories, but the club recognition, you can get recognized for things that your club as a whole did. So there's a banner for 100% foundation giving. That's 100 Sorry. Can you go through the banners?
Sure, absolutely. So 100% Foundation Giving Club is $100 per capita and 100% participation because we know giving to the foundation is whose job? Everybody's job. Everybody's job. We want to get everybody involved so that they can give something, even $25. So the 100% foundation giving is $100 per capita, 100% participation. A Paul Harris 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club is a one-time deal, so you do it only once and you've got that for life. That's 100% of the members are at that point Paul Harris Fellows. Once you've reached that, you've got that accolade to be able to hang on your banner for the rest of your life because you don't have to worry about it losing it next time. Um, every Rotarian every year. That's the one that I really encourage everybody to look at. 100%, $100 per capita. That's the big thing. You need to get $100 per capita, which means that when you add up all of the money that's been given and you divide that by the number of people that are in your club, that's what you need to be $100 or more. And every member must contribute at least $25 to the annual fund. Now, I really encourage clubs to go after that because it's only $25 per member, but you do need to have those few members that can push that per capita giving to $100 per capita. Rotary's Promise Club is 100% members are benefactors or higher. So that means everybody becomes a benefactor, and that would be also a one-time thing. And then the top three there's a banner that's given for those clubs that are top three per capita in the annual fund giving. So they've got three different awards for that, first, second, and third, and those are given out to each of the clubs that receive that. And then 100% Paul Harris Society, which I don't think I've ever seen any club do that. That would be a big coup if you could do that. And that's getting everybody to become a Paul Harris Society member at one time. Once it's done, it's done. It's complete, and you never have to worry about doing it again.
That would be
All
an
right.
awesome banner to get, yeah.
That would be an awesome. That I wonder if that's gold plated. It must be.
So these banners we get after the close of the year because they account for all of the donations for the Rotary year. And we usually get those banners in about September or October, and it's presented at your club level. So I know a club that they knew it was going to be hard to be a 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club, but they thought they can do E-Ray Club. So they did E-Ray Club. They had a fundraiser. Everybody tried to raise money and got everybody to get that $25 into the annual fund, and they became an E-Ray club, which was awesome because to them, it's hard to get bigger dollars, but they could do an E-Ray club.
Yeah.
So here's some. Let's get into the different categories. So Paul Harris Fellow, different levels. So at each level, you get a different pin. So the first one you get without a ruby or sapphire, excuse me. And then when you make that second one, the second level, you get a sapphire, so that's $2,000 given, then so forth. And when you get up to 8, it's 3 rubies. So it's a pretty cool pin to have. After that, you don't get any more pins because you made major donor, but that major donor pin is one to be proud of. A Paul
Now,
Harris Society pin.
but Naomi, though, does that have to be money that they have to give?
Oh no, it can be points. Yeah,
It can
thank
be
you.
recognition points. So everybody that gives money to the foundation, every dollar you give, you also get a recognition point. So if you give $100, you're also receiving 100 recognition points. Those recognition points can't be used for your own self. You can't use them for giving yourself another Paul Harris Fellow, but you can gift them to somebody else. You can give them so somebody else becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. But you do need to do them in increments of a minimum of 100 points when you do cash those in. And so there is a transfer form that you can use that you can send to Rotary International. I've done it through a spreadsheet with one form, and I send it over, and they basically accept that spreadsheet and do all the changes. So, have fun with that. Try to do it though, so that you're encouraging people to give more money also. So you can match them. Like say, we'll give you 100 points for every $100 you give, and now you got a 2-for-1 going.
Yep. Thank you. That question came up at Pets, and so I will show you that form and where you can get that transfer done of points to people. Okay, so next slide is the Paul Harris Society. This is Virginia's favorite topic, right, Virginia? The Paul Harris Society, when you sign up, you get this little chevron thing that you can attach to your Paul Harris pin. But a society member is someone who has pledged to give $1,000 a year or more to the annual fund, Polio Plus Fund, or the foundation grants. But just giving doesn't make you a member of the society. You need to fill out the form. Okay, so the form, you can either do it online by going to that page, and I have the URL there. You can fill out a form, or you can just call Rotary Support. Virginia, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to mention that when you join the Paul Harris Society, you're pledging $1,000 every year. And
That's
so whereas a Paul Harris Fellow is someone who has given $1,000 and there's some increments for that, you're not a Paul Harris Society member unless you're giving $1,000 a year. So just so everyone understands that distinction between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so the society is a pledge, and this is cash that you're giving cash $1,000 a year.
Right.
And so what you can do is when you look at your reports for the contributions from your club members, it tells you who's eligible. And so if somebody's eligible because they gave 1,000, you might want to ask them, would you like to join the society to make that pledge to do $1,000 a year, and have them fill out the form, or go online or call the support center to make that pledge. And in Virginia, it reminds us a lot that when they do these surveys and find out who gives the most to Rotary, it's this group of Paul Harris Society, because they're committed to give that $1,000 a year to the foundation. And so that's where the bulk of a lot of the donations to TRF come from. Okay, so the next level, it would be a major donor. And so when someone reaches 10,000, they become a major donor, and this is in cash, not points. And these are the different levels of the major donor categories that you can get into, and you get a different pin and a crystal and some other things for being a major donor. Then there's the Arch Comp Society, and to be a member of this prestigious group is really an honor to be recognized. You get your picture at the headquarters too. But this is someone who has given $250,000, and it could be for individuals or couples. And this is not through points; it's actual cash contributions. So these are different levels of the Arch Comp Society, and you got a lot of other benefits that come with this this designation. Okay, so the things that you can do for the future, not necessarily now giving cash, there's a benefactor category where you are notifying, you sign a form that you're going to pledge $1,000 or more as a gift to the endowment. So you get a benefactor pin. There's also other legacy options. So Bequest Society is 10,000 or more to TRF. Okay, so you have different categories. And then you have the Legacy Society, which is $1 million or more. And the bequest amount is never spent. It's in the endowment. So the endowment is giving off earnings, and that's what we get. So every year we get about maybe 12 to 15,000 in earnings from the endowment fund that goes into the pot of our DDF for us to use for our projects. So it really helps to help us get more money and for projects. And also, when the market is down, we're not getting it enough there, or maybe people aren't giving as much. We are still getting some earnings from the endowment fund. So please encourage your members to consider giving to the endowment fund, because this is really where we can have money year after year from the earnings from the endowment fund, and we can have it keep on going for forever, maybe. So encourage giving. These are ways to give. You've got the Rotary Direct, which is the most painless way to give. They sign a form. Annual fund is where that money is returned to us. You have Polio Plus Society, when you pledge to give $100 to Polio Plus every year. And then you've got the Paul Harris Society Triple Crown. Hey, Dave, you want to talk about Triple Crown? That's kind of unique to some
Yeah,
districts,
that's
not everybody.
not to every, this isn't a Rotary International award. It's an award from our district and other districts that follow this. And it's a Triple Crown Society, and it's someone who's reached 3 accolades, all 3 of them at the same time. So they have to become a Bequest Society member, a Paul Harris Society member, and then a major donor. So they've got to be able to have gone and reach that $10,000 milestone in cash. They have to have contributed $1,000 of cash in that given year, and they've also had to register that they are going to be a bequest society, which is giving $10,000 minimum to the endowment. And once you've got all 3 of those, you get this Triple Crown Award that you can wear proudly and let people know that you've done that. And it's a one-time deal. Once you've done it, you've done it.
And what about the White Hat Society?
The White Hat Society is also one that is not recognized by Rotary International, but it is recognized by a lot of clubs, and our district has done a wonderful job on that. Honolulu Sunset really carries the awards for that with the most probably white hats, and that's somebody that gives $5,000 in a given year. $5,000 in cash in a given year, and that could be to the Polio Plus as well as to the annual fund. It doesn't have to be into one category. And on top of that, they also want you to find a turtle. So part of that is to find somebody else who's going to be the person that's going to come in to become a white hat the next year or the next white hat. So you basically need to find somebody who you can say, will you be my turtle? Because I'm going to be a white hat, and that person then is kind of bound to become a white hat also. Great way to carry on the tradition.
What do they call them, turtles? Okay, so when you give on the Rotary International website, you go to rotary.org and go to donate, and here you just click on what do you want to give it to, how much, and you can make the donation online with your credit card. The recognition points get awarded to donors, so they make the donation to the annual fund or Polio Plus or to a foundation grant, and they get these points. Okay, so you get one recognition point for every dollar contributed to those funds. The money that goes to endowment funds are not eligible because we're not using that. But this is how you transfer. This is a question that came up at PETS, right? So how do you make that transfer of the points? So first of all, how do you find out how many points you have? Go to the club recognition summary report. So when you go to your to Rotary International, get this report, and in this report it says here recognition point available. So it'll tell you how many points that the club has to give, and then in this same report, every individual has the amount of recognition points that they have individually. Okay, so find out how much you have, and then you would need to fill out this form, and this form is online at the Ways to Give site, and it's a minimum of 100 points that you can transfer anytime. You complete the form and you say, I'm giving it to this person. So only the person who's giving the points needs to sign off on this because they're the ones authorized. So for your club, who's authorized to sign for your club? The president.
Club president.
Yeah. If it's a district, who's authorized to sign for the district?
Ted.
District governor, right? And so it's got to be the person who's authorized to sign on behalf of whoever has that points that can sign this recognition request form. And then you can either email it or send it to Rotary International, and they will transfer the points to that whoever you designate. Okay, so what you can do,
Naomi? Maybe I dozed off or something, but for your own points, the president doesn't have to sign that.
Correct.
I think, yeah, the president only has to sign for the club's points.
Correct. Yep. 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 You're the only one who can give out your points. So you're the only one who can authorize that.
Correct. Okay. Although what I did this year was just went to like Nancy and some of the other members and asked them to sign the form. And then I've taken care of all that, your suggestion earlier or someone's about awarding points based on, you matching. I've already done all that this year and I probably fudged it, but all I did was copy the form that they signed so that I could turn that in.
Yep.
As foundation director.
Yeah, and doing that, really, the person who receives that the Paul Harris Fellow or the points really appreciates that, and so that's a good way to build goodwill and further contributions to the club, is to do something with those points. You can give someone who is being honored for a vocational award in your club. You can give them a Paul Harris Fellow pin. Or someone who has done something extraordinary, can award them a Paul Harris.
And it doesn't have to be a Rotarian. You could give a Paul Harris Fellow to somebody in the
Right.
community, your own children, or your spouse. Have them come in and celebrate them becoming a Paul Harris Fellow for whatever reason. It's very common for sometimes people to have multiple members of their family become Paul Harris Fellows. So, use this and let them be part of the success story of the foundation by them all participating in that.
Mm-hmm. And you can have fun. Oh, sorry, Rich.
Rich had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a question for you, Dave, or for Roz, for that matter. But I'm wondering, what is the status of the Polio Plus Society in regards to Rotary International? At one point in time, it was my understanding that Rotary International was recognizing the Polio Plus Society. But when I contacted Rotary International to ask them about that, no, they say, no, that's not a recognized society with Rotary International. So this is still just on a district level or zone level or whatever as it is now?
It's on district by district. So each district can choose how they want to celebrate the various awards and pick up other awards. There's been some that we've picked up and done ourselves that no one else has done.
Sure.
So yes, the awards that we are celebrating here in Hawaii.
However,
Thank-
it's not official yet, but the Council of Legislation is voting for it to be an official supported program of the Rotary Foundation, just like it was for the Paul Harris Society.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, at one point they did say they were going to give us reports, but then they didn't do it. Okay, so what your clubs can do as a president or a foundation chair is just bring that awareness of the foundation to the club, because you do get that money back for your projects, and your projects are, a lot of times what your members join Rotary for. Share the goals with your club members. Dave is asking the PEs to think about a 10% increase in their when they do the Rotary Club Central goals for next year. Get people to do the Rotary Direct, because then it's easy and painless. So think of ways to make this fun. Dave has this thing with a wheel, and you can win Paul Harris points for being on the winning wheel. Dave, you want to share what you do?
Sure. Every November we have a roulette wheel that's got numbers on it, and it's 1x, 2x, 3x, all the way up to 6 times the number. And we ask people to bring I know a lot of people don't use checks anymore, but we ask them to bring in their money or their checks for the foundation on that meeting. But if they give earlier, we honor that. And so at that time, whatever they gave or whatever they brought to the meeting, we have them spin the wheel, and they can come up individually, or they can say, you can spin it for me. And they spin the wheel, and if it lands on 6, if they gave $250 that day, they just got 6 times that amount. And that's so they've already gotten more than a Paul Harris Fellow just for that one spin. A lot of this requires you to have a lot of points to give away. But when you've got people that are major donors, sometimes you have to rally those troops and say, can I borrow your points? Can I use your points? And then they go, sure, I'll give you my points. I've got 10,000. I don't need them. And then they give them away. And that's how we kind of make that work. But you can have fun with it. If you want to encourage people to join, become a Rotary Direct member, maybe give them another 100 points or 200 points to become a Rotary Direct member so that they know that they're giving every single month or every single quarter or every single year. At least we know that you don't have to remember. It's out of your mind. You don't think about it.
Yeah. So think of fun ways to use that credit, the points to encourage giving. So, if can, if no can, no can, but, let's try, it's okay if we can't give, but people who can give, it helps you get your projects going with those donations. So
Naomi,
you,
before you
yes.
go to this screen, can
Yep.
someone discuss? You can donate online,
Right.
you go, everybody knows that. But at a meeting, has anyone set up a direct link, like a square, somebody with a credit card can just donate at a meeting using a credit card? Does anybody
Yeah.
know how to make that possible?
Yeah, the thing though is when you do a credit card, it goes to your club, right? And your club is paying the credit card fees unless it's a Venmo. But then your club is responsible for getting that money over to a Rotary Foundation. So what you could do on your club website is put a link direct to Rotary International to make a donation direct to them. And then you cut out yourself as the middleman.
Yeah, I mean, I done that and I put, the link on the table. And I don't have an issue with it, but a couple of people have said, oh, well, then you have to sign in and then that's too hard.
I have a lot of people in my club that don't want to do that, and they still like to write checks. So I say,
Yeah.
bring your check.
Yeah.
Bring your check, and I will take all of your checks. I will fill out a single form that allows me to pull up everybody in my club, and I click on the ones that have given me a check, and then I put their incremental dollar amounts on each one of those.
Yeah, that's what we do
And then
that as
you-
well.
and
I'm
then you
just getting
mail
some
and you have to
flack
wait.
because
Yeah.
I'm just getting flack because I don't have a way, to do that credit card. And actually, there's only 2 people that keep pounding me about it, but I need an answer to that, so I'll just give your answer.
Yeah,
Ken.
right now it can't be done. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
You could do it on a laptop is log in to Rotary International, get to that donate section and fill out the top part for them and let them put their credit card in the bottom part and then
Yeah.
you just submit it.
yeah.
Oh no, these are people that already donate. I mean, they know how to do all of it. They just keep after me to come up with a different way.
Is that
I mean,
me?
Oh, they just want to bug you,
I think so.
Okay.
And I won't name names, but it's
that falls
Carrie
on
and
the
Susan.
that falls on the no can thing.
Yeah.
No want to.
Okay, so when you're the foundation chair or looking at the reports, this club recognition summary report is one that you're going to look at a lot because it does have how much people are giving, if the recognition points, when they gave, and then you can identify your major donors from there. And this is how you can find those reports. Go to Rotary Club Central, click on reports here, go to foundation, and all of these reports come up for you. There are other ways to get to it. You can get it from the front page of Rotary.org. I wanted to show you something. This is the multiple donor form where you can list out who's giving and give one form for everybody. They will, as Dave said, take a spreadsheet as long as you have the proper information that they need. But you do need to designate which fund it's going to. So you would mail that over. So the contribution form is online. But here's another thing. Did you know there's one that you can pre-fill the information from your club and makes it so simple. So what you do, you go to My Rotary, that drop-down menu, go to Club Resources, then under Club Resources, Club Giving, pre-filled individual contribution form. And then from there, go to multiple donor form. So it's an online form. And what you do is you click the names of your members that are giving, you just click, and then it's going to pre-populate this form. Did you guys know that?
Yep.
Okay. For those of you who did not know that, this is a pretty cool thing because you don't have to type in everybody's information. You just pick out the names of the people and the form just gets reprinted with all your information.
Hey,
Okay.
Cool.
Naomi.
That's cool beans.
Go back 2 slides.
Go back. Okay. This one?
That's fine. Now go to the next one. Your next slide.
Forward? This one?
Yeah, that one right there. Club resources, pre-filled individual club contribution form, individual
And
contribution.
then multi-donor form. Multiple donor form.
Yeah, multi-donor form. Okay.
And you do have to write in the amounts. You can't,
Oh, yeah.
or I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you go to
Puts the
multi-
names in, but you have to put in the amount.
Yeah,
You're right.
and when you do the multi-donor form, you do need to click on that generate pre-populated form.
This one, this pre-populated.
Yeah.
Because that's where it'll give you the list of all of the members in your club, and you need to click out who you're putting onto that form, and it'll pre-populate that form with the names and their ID numbers. So you don't have to look up their ID numbers.
That's correct.
It's a pretty cool thing that you can get to help you. So technology does help once in a while. Okay, so encourage giving. Lots of great ideas, but another one is go use this raise.rotary.org, because when you set that up, people can just go to this one link and make that donation right there on the website, and then it'll go straight to Rotary International. They get a receipt from Rotary International. Don't need to fill out any forms. So if you're having a Polio Plus fundraiser, use this raise.rotary.org and get people to just go to the website and put their donations in. But Polio Plus is still really important, right? Right, Roz? We still need to immunize 400 million children. Okay, that's wrong. It's 400 million children every year in 60 countries to get them vaccinated so that they don't get the polio virus. So we need to still get in the donations for Polio Plus and encourage the giving. Ideally, if you can give 1,500 per club or $50 per capita, that is really good to get into the Polio Plus fund and have the Gates Foundation match us. And Gates Foundation is still matching us 3-1. Right, Rod? Right, Rod?
That is correct. And they have also made with everything that's coming up, they've also made a commitment to continue this on for another 3 years after this time is up. So they are in it for the duration.
Anything else you want to say about polio, Ross?
If you guys haven't registered yet for the walk coming up at the district conference, please go in and register and come and join us, so we can go out and create the awareness that's needed, especially today with everything that's going on in the world. It's going to help in so many ways, not only with polio, but with vaccine support as well.
And even if you're not going to the conference, they can still sign up for the walk, right? And bring other people to walk with them.
That is
right?
correct, yes.
And better yet, they can just donate, right? And not walk.
Yes, and all of that is on the registration form. If you want to be a walker, or if you want to just make a contribution, or if you want to be a Polio Plus Society member.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so leaving a legacy for Rotary to continue to for perpetuity. There's estate planning ideas, name giving funds. You can donate real estate securities and IRA rollover. That's what we're seeing recently, where people will just they have to take the required withdrawal every year, and they don't need the money, so they would just send it to Rotary, and then they don't need to pay tax on the amount that they donated. And then there's corporate matching gifts, so different ways to keep on giving. So your team, Dave Matrin is the chair. You've got annual giving chairs, endowment chairs. Roz is the Polio Plus chair. Virginia is the Paul Harris Society chair. So a lot of people that can help make a presentation at your club and help you with information that you need. So thank you for doing good in the world. Questions? Oh, there's Daniel. Daniel from Honolulu Sunset.
Daniel is the one who wants the 2 polo shirts.
Hi, guys. Yes, I do.
I'm thinking of you, kid.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey,
You know
Daniel,
what?
you went on that Romania VTT, right? The vocational training team.
Yes, yes. We started back in 2014, and we still have one more grant that hopefully we'll finalize in the next few years.
Mhm. So this is grant money working to teach doctors in Romania on how to do that. So, Virginia went on a cleft palate project, and that kind of changed her life, right, Virginia? Just imagine teaching Romanian doctors how to do these facial cranial surgery things. Makes a big difference in the lives of those people who get that surgery.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's been actually really great because they have the specialists, they just don't have the team building capability because the medical system is after a Soviet style, which they work in silos. So they don't have a multidisciplinary approach to the problem. So in the US, if you have a craniofacial anomaly, you go to a craniofacial center. And there you see the plastic surgeon, the ENT, the neurosurgeon, and so forth. And then at the end, they all give their recommendations as a team. So the patient knows exactly what the next steps are and when to do it and whatnot. Right now in Eastern Europe, the way it's still remnants of the Soviet institutions that the Russians had brought in during the Cold War, and basically everybody works as their own provider. So patients have to go to one hospital to see a provider, then they go to another hospital to see another one, and then the doctors don't communicate very well between themselves, and patients get lost in the transition. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring everybody to the table, show them how it's done, work in the team approach, and that's been a real benefit for the patient care. So we're really pleased with how the project's going.
Awesome. So you're really making a difference for those patients, and it's foundation money at work. Thank you, Daniel. Danny.
Lanny, yeah.
I'm new at this. I'm not new as a Rotarian, but in the role of the foundation and a pretty decent cheerleader. In our club, we've collected several $1,000s that's sitting in our account, and my job is to move that money along. And so, Naomi, thanks for returning my email this past week with some coaching. And so my question is just to get some pointers from you all on I'm going to be tomorrow. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and fill out this multi-donor form because many people have donated both to the share program and to polio, and I need to split that up. So my questions are: when I complete the form, I'm assuming I can just file that electronically, number one, and if not, I'm just looking for the coaching points of how to file it once I complete it. Number two, what's the best way to get the funds out of our club's bank account and move it along to Rotary International? I mean, I'm sure a snail mail check isn't it, but if there's a way to electronically send money along, I mean, that would certainly be my preference. So if somebody could just offer me a little bit of guidance on those mechanics, I'd really appreciate it.
Dave, you're muted.
I said that's a good question. Yeah, I do that often though but with checks. So when I get the bunch of the checks, then I do the pre-filled out form, go ahead and choose all of the people, and then I put all of the checks into one envelope that are going to the annual foundation, annual fund, and then I do another one that is for Polio Plus. I have done situations where I've done a separate form for someone that's given me one check for both sides, and then I had to basically split it up manually. So I had one form that was for one individual that showed two different increments and put that check in there so there wouldn't be any confusion. I send that separately. So it's still dealing with putting a stamp on an envelope and the long delay it takes from when they receive it. Electronically is always the easiest way. I know you can fill out and pay from an account, a bank account, multiple donors or for other club members. So you as an individual can go in there and say, I'm selecting for other club members, and you can put all of those club members in and then have a single check or pay for it yourself, and then you get reimbursed for that. So I've done it where I've gone ahead and paid for a bunch of people that gave me a cash, and I'm going, geez, I hate getting cash. And so what I did was I just paid for it from my account, gave them all of their points, and then I took their cash to reimburse myself for that. I don't like doing that, but that's what sometimes you need to do in order to get it done.
Okay.
But you didn't file electronically, right? You didn't.
That was
send
filed. That was
Yep.
filed electronically. If you had the cash, yes, you can. Because then you're using your own credit card to do multiple contributions for those same people. So let's say I got
Oh, I see.
$300
You
bills.
didn't, it wasn't like a bank transfer.
It was my credit card transfer.
Yeah,
So I used
okay,
my credit
okay.
card for the $300. Yes.
Okay, just a couple more. Thank you for that. As part of our annual collecting of the dues, we try to make it easy on the members. So we collect the dues and plus where they can write one check or do one transaction. And so we highly encourage them to put $100 towards the share and $50 towards polio. So they write one check for all those purposes. They go into one account. And then later on, I'm told that we then take that out. So all those checks or all those transactions have been already consummated and put into an account. So now
Yes.
I've got a listing, you know, like Lanny Brown has donated $100 to RI Foundation share and $50 towards polio. And so now I need to capture all that information by the majority of our club on that multi-donor form and then give the money to RI so that then on those reports, everybody gets credit for the donations that they got. So that's just the point in this process that I'm at. And maybe I'm thinking, instead of taking too much time of the group at this point, that Naomi or somebody, maybe I can consult with you further in the days to come to help me basically take the money we've collected and hand it off to Rotary International.
Well, Lanny, give me a call. I can help you walk you through that. That's pretty simple. All you're doing then is having a single check cut from your club to the Rotary Foundation for the total dollar amount that you want to give to the foundation, and then a separate one for Polio Plus. So you'll fill out two forms and basically allocate those monies as they intended them to be. You've already deposited that money into your own account. That account then would then write a check, a single amount, and it would just be divided up by all those people. So
Dave,
long
can you
as-
shoot me? Can you
Yeah.
shoot me your phone number? What number do I call you at?
I will put it in the chat. Anybody want to call me, they're welcome to do so.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's-
Larry, most people would just write a check.
Okay. But that's kind of the wisdom I'm seeking, because my world now, I try so much personally to move away from snail mail checks and just go to some version of electronic, and so feeling comfortable with that. But really, I'm the one that will adapt to whatever is the easiest for Rotary. So if Rotary wants we've got a checkbook and we can do it that way too. So I'm good with all those options.
Naomi, I know it's getting late, but I wanted to thank, I've got a couple of president-elects on here and it looks like some foundation chairs. And I think the really big key to the success in any club is Lenny, as a foundation chair, knows what to do and how to encourage his people and help guide them along. That is, to me, the big key, because I'm still kind of in the fog factor here. Don't even get onto grants or I'm really lost. But I think the good president-elect or a good president and your foundation chairs really is the cheerleader, like Lenny said. I want to see those pom-poms going, and it makes a big difference with how the club members are made aware of the impact. It's not, it's just not really, it becomes all about the money, but we really want to excite people about the impact that these funds happen and how they can come back to us too, to help have us be in control of what happens with them. It's a pretty exciting kind of foundation. So thank you to all you presidents and foundation chairs and foundation people and everybody that works along the way. It's amazing what we do because our district numbers are pretty high. Our zone, we're in zone 26 and zone, which is California, parts of California, Arizona, and that, and Hawaii, and zone 27, which is the rest of the West Coast. Where the two of those are the largest two zones in the entire Rotary world of donations. So pretty cool. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Nancy, you hit it on the head on that, because when you basically are talking about giving your money away to do projects, let's say you're buying dictionaries, let them know that you paid for 50 dictionaries, but we gave 100 dictionaries away.
Yeah.
Because 50 of them were free because
Yeah.
they were basically covered by the money that came back to you.
Yeah.
So let
True.
them know about the impact of how your money's been spent. That's kind of a great way to share it. Go through that, all your grants that you've done, and basically let the people know that you've given this much money, but you were able to spend this much money. And that was 2 times the amount and maybe even more. And so that they get that excitement that's saying, hey, we only had to use $1,000 cash to get $3,000 spent, in a sense. All right.
Yep. Thank you all. We got Rich Corson here too. And Rich last year did a really great thing. Rich, you want to tell us what you and your wife put together last year?
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about, except maybe you're talking about the
Arch Clump.
Yeah. Yeah, Arch Clump.
Yeah, Arch Clump. Yeah. That was a couple of years ago. So
Oh, okay.
anyway, but thank you for that recognition. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's odd, it's good to encourage others to think about doing something similar to that with a charitable remainder trust.
Yeah.
And we had a member in our club, Mike Malahan, who did that.
Mhm.
And also Marianne Berry, Dave Berry really is the one that did
Yeah.
that. So we had 2 people in our club who had done this before. And when Mike Malahan started talking about it, it was kind of like, well, it just sort of made sense to me. And I thought, well, that's something that maybe we could do with some property. And so spreading the word like that amongst your club members is really a good thing. Mike Malahan, I think, wanted to go about it with the district, and but that never did work out. But he was willing to go around to different clubs and talk to them about what he had done. And he's very inspirational. He's still, in Rotary and spends a lot of his time in Japan. But any club member that would like to hear about doing a charitable remainder trust, which is really a win-win when you contribute to Rotary International, Mike Malahan, who I think is now with the Rotary Club Honolulu Sunset. I think
Okay.
Honolulu Sunset.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Okay.
But it takes someone like Rich to be such a cheerleader for Polio Plus and for the Rotary Foundation that you get inspired by people like you, Rich.
Yep.
So this is a bike race that he did, and he wore his In Polio Now shirt. So it's right in front of Diamond Head. This picture, I love this picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, good shot.
I'm still doing that every year.
Wow.
Okay, so we don't have any more questions. We're done at 7:59. Any more questions? James, did you have a question? No? Kimberly? Gina?
No, I'm good. That was a really good meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. Coming up.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Aloha. See everybody
Bye.
at Foundation meeting soon. See you, Roz. I
Bye-bye.
gotta sign up. I gotta-
Bye-bye.